Let us discuss a previous year board question based on balancing of chemical reactions. So in the given question, we have to balance the chemical reaction occurring between iron and steam. Now the rationale involved in balancing of chemical reaction is the law of conservation of mass. And according to this law, matter can neither be created nor destroyed. If we apply the same principle to chemical equations, it would mean that for each element involved in the chemical equation, number of atoms on reactant side has to be equal to number of atoms on product side. And in order to equalize these numbers, what we do is we multiply the reactants and products with appropriate numbers. So let us see how we can do that for the given reaction. Now first of all, let us construct a table to list down the information that we have. For example, the elements involved in the reaction, which are iron, oxygen, and hydrogen. Now the next step would be to list down the number of atoms of each element on reactant and product side. So for iron, on reactant side there is 1 atom, but on product side there are 3 atoms. Similarly for oxygen, on reactant side there is 1 atom, while on the product side there are 4 atoms. And lastly for hydrogen, on reactant and product sides there are 2 atoms each. Right. Now we can clearly see that iron and oxygen atoms are not balanced. So let us start with iron. Now in order to balance the number of iron atoms, we will need to multiply the iron present on reactant side with 3. And in doing that, we increase the number of iron atoms on reactant side to 3. And thus the iron atoms become equal. Now moving on to the next unbalanced element, and that is oxygen. So to balance the number of oxygen atom on reactant and product side, we will need to multiply water with 4. And in doing that, we change the number of oxygen atom from 1 to 4 on reactant side, and there is no effect on the number of oxygen atoms on the product side. However, as we can now see, the number of hydrogen atoms on the reactant side has changed from 2 to 8. So in order to balance the oxygen atom, we increase the number of hydrogen atoms as well. Now we need to balance them too. So for that, we will simply multiply hydrogen on the product side with 4. And that is going to increase the number of hydrogen atoms from 4 to 8. And here we have the complete balanced chemical equation between iron and steam.